All right, so today for pre-algebra class, we will be solving one-step equations using addition and subtraction. So here's a quick definition on what an equation is. An equation is a mathematical sentence that uses an equal sign to show that the two expressions have the same value. For example, 3 plus 8 is 11, and that's equal to 11. They are both the same value on each sides of the equal sign, because 3 plus 8 is 11, and 11 is 11. So they are equal. So today we'll be determining which value of x is the solution. So we're going to be figuring out, what does x equal? Does x equal 12 or does x equal 20? And how are we going to figure this out? We're going to plug these two numbers in for x and see if we can get 13 on both sides of the equal symbol. So we'll start off here by trying out 12. So we'll plug 12 in for x. 12 minus 7 equals 13. 12 minus 7 is 5. Is 5 equal to 13? No, it's not. So we know that 12 is not what x equals. So now let's try 20 and see if 20 is what x would equal. So we're going to plug in 20 for x. So 20 minus 7 equals 13. 20 minus 7 is 13. And both sides of the equal sign are same, 13 and 13. So we know x would equal 20. So basically what we're doing is we are plugging in these two numbers for x, and we're making sure we're trying to get both sides of the equal sign the same. So when we plugged in 20 for x, we got 13 is equal to 13. And they're both the same. So 20 is what x would equal. Moving on to the next one. X plus 6 equals 18. Does x equal 10, 12, or 20? I'm not sure, so let's start off by plugging in 10 for x. So 10 plus 6 equals 18. 10 plus 6 is 16. Is 16 equal to 18? Are they both the same? No. So we know that x does not equal 10. So now let's try 12 for x. So we're going to plug in 12 for x. So 12 plus 6 equals 18. 12 plus 6 is 18. And are both the values the same on each side of the equal sign? Well, they're both 18, and 18 is equal to 18. So yes, x would equal 12. Now I want you guys to try this one. Does x equal 2, 7, or 21? So plug in these three numbers for x and try and figure out what x equals. Is it 2, 7, or 21? All right, so let's try 2. Plug in 2 for x. 2 minus 7 equals 14. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Is negative 5 equal to 14? No, it's not. So we know that 2 is not what x equals. Now let's try 7. 7 minus 7 is 14. Is equal to 14. 7 minus 7 is 0. 0 is not equal to 14. So we know that x does not equal 7. Does x equal 21? 21 minus 7 is 14. Is 14 equal to 14? Yes, it is. So x would equal 21. So some inverse operations, or also known as opposites. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations, or they're opposites. So that means they would undo each other. So to solve an equation, use the inverse operation to get the variable alone on the side of the equal sign. So we're trying to get x, or the variable, alone on one side of the equal sign. So for example here, we can subtract the same number from both sides of the equation and the statement will still be true. So right here we have 4 plus 7 is equal to 11, and 4 plus 7 is 11. So 11 is equal to 11. That is a correct statement right now. So for example, if I were to subtract 7 from both sides, we would get 4 is equal to 4. So we subtracted 7 from both sides of the equal sign, and the statement is still true because both sides of the equal sign have the same number. And that will make more sense as we try these first couple of problems. So for these, we are going to be solving for t. So basically, we'll be trying to get t alone on one side of the equal sign. So to start these problems off, I like to draw a line straight down my equal sign because that's going to separate both sides of our equation. So on the left side, we have t plus 6, and on the right side, we have 28. So we are trying to get t alone here. So how am I going to get t alone? I see we have plus 6. So I'm going to take the opposite of plus 6 to both sides of our equation. And the opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. So I'm going to minus 6 to both sides of our equation. 6 minus 6 is 0. So now we are left with just t on that side of the equation because 6 minus 6 is 0. And then on the right side here, we have 28 minus 6. 28 minus 6 is equal to 22. So t would equal 22. And if we want, we can check our answer by plugging in 22 for t. So 22 plus 6 equals 28. 22 plus 6 is 28. And they're both the same on each side of the equal sign, so we know that t equals 22 is correct. So this blue way here is just how I checked my answer. Once we figured out t was equal to 22, I plugged in 22 for t just to make sure my answer was correct. So let's try one more together. So m minus 8 is equal to negative 14. We're going to start off by drawing our line right down the equal sign to separate both sides of our equation. So on the left side here, we have m minus 8, and on the right side, we have negative 14. So we got to remember, we are trying to get m alone. And I see m minus 8 on this side. So what is the opposite of minus 8? The opposite of minus 8 would be plus 8. We are going to do that to both sides of the equation. So negative 8 plus 8 is 0. So we would have m by itself on this side now. And then negative 14 plus 8 is negative 6. So m would equal negative 6. So basically what we did there was we added 8 to both sides to get m alone. because negative 8 plus 8 is 0, or basically they just cancel each other out. Now I want you guys to try this one. So m plus negative 25 equals 81. So we are going to try and get m alone on this side of the equal sign. So what is the opposite of negative 25? The opposite of negative 25 would be positive 25. Make that a little bit better for you guys. That looks like an 8. Oofda. I can't draw my 5s today. So the opposite of negative 25 would be plus 25. And what we do to this side, we have to do to the right side. So we're going to add 25 to that side too. Now we have m alone, because negative 25 plus 25 is 0, or they just cancel each other out. Now we have to add 81 plus 25. And 81 plus 25 is 106. So m would equal 106. All right, that is it for today. Tomorrow, or actually on Wednesday, we will be solving one-step equations using multiplication and division. And you guys will have an assignment on these types of problems tomorrow. And what I want you to do is copy the problems on a piece of scratch paper and solve them and find your answer. And once you get your answer, you are going to type it in this box and then submit on Schoology.